when you got rigor mortis. Hi folks, it's Ben here at BA Guitar's Vision. Just dropping by a blog response to Sami's video review of the new Metallica Lou Reed album, Lulu. And one thing I can agree with, this is going to be one of the most contentious releases of 2011, or probably the last few years in fact, even more so than the new Morbid Angel album, which really did ruffle quite a few feathers this year. No, this really is going to split people right down the middle, or really to one side. It's just going to drive people away by droves. What I found with this particular album is a very confusing listen, because it sounds like two different records being played at the same time. Reason being is that the two artists we're talking about, Lou Reed and Metallica, come from very different voids of the rock spectrum, and putting them together, it really does sound like chalk and cheese, and doesn't really complement one to the other. Because let's say on the very first track, the Brandenburg Gate, when you first hear those really subtle chords coming in on the acoustic, and then you hear Lou's baritone vocal coming in with the spoken word poetry, it's classic Lou Reed all over. And to my ears, don't really hear anything particularly offensive. But it's only until Metallica come crashing in with some chords and you hear that classic yeah Hetfield vocal, it just doesn't work. It's the equivalent to me of hearing Grandpa Simpson just lurch into a Metallica studio, grab a mic and just start ranting as they're probably recording for their new album. Which really ruins some of the key ideas, such as tunes like Dragon, which has a real Orion vibe to it, and some great chugging and rhythm section, which I haven't really heard from Metallica in a very long time, and could have made a really good Metallica track, but is just completely destroyed by Lou just ranting on the top of it. And saying that, if you're a Lou Reed fan, there's a couple of tunes that do have that nuance of classic Lou Reed to it that work, in my opinion. Little Dog really has no resemblance to Metallica, and has got that mantra-ish vibe that you get from a lot of the Lou Reed records. That actually works quite nicely. Cheat on Me is probably the closest track, in my opinion, that works with the cute question and answer between Hetfield and Lou Reed in the vocal aspect. And there's a really cool hook on there as well. Especially on tunes like Ice Honey. Hetfield's got this vocal line just trying to push through, but is being completely buried by Grandpa Simpson's ramblings on top. All this dialect from this this play that obviously inspired the album in the first place. Very odd, but contentiously enough, there is somewhat of an appeal on some of the tunes. On repeat listenings, if you dare go down that route. You might possibly just listen to the first few minutes of the first track and then just think, no, switched off, you know, garbage, bin it straight away. But I'm one for contentious music. I mean, an album that caused a lot of controversy this year was the new Morbid Angel album, which had a lot of the old school fans absolutely reeling in uproar because it wasn't true, and it wasn't the old Morbid Angel who did Covenant and Altars of Madness that they remembered, because having David Vincent back, they wanted that old school feel again. And to be fair with that record, it was only 3 experimental tracks on the whole thing, and the rest of it was very old school and pretty faithful. So if you really want an album to moan and bitch about, I'd say it's got to be this one, because what's annoying is that there are some really great ideas. So if you're a Lou Reed fan, you're going to get probably frustrated by all the thrashings from Metallica, and if you're a Metallica fan, you're going to get really pissy, because there are some fantastic ideas on here that could have been into the next proper Metallica release. So really, it's a fail situation on both sides. But all I can say is, look at the link here and see if you can make your own mind up, because it's going to be one of these things that's going to be pretty split, and I think the overall feel is going to be pretty negative. But I felt that I needed to kind of put a response in as soon as possible before the rigor mortis kicks in again. If you're an absolute essential buyer, you probably might see some potential in it, but you will ultimately be frustrated and might look back towards Saint Anger and actually think, well, maybe it wasn't too bad. But what are we kidding? It's Saint Anger. We all know it's bad. It might possibly grow a little bit like the rigor mortis on my face at the moment, But am I really selling it to you? No. At the moment, I would say I'm probably more interested in getting to a Halloween party with lots of blood going down my face and having a few drinks with my friends. But do support Sami, and if you want to check out some of my own material, check it out on my own Facebook page and also to my YouTube channel, and drop me a line and check out some of my videos. But in the meantime, do check out Sami's videos, keep the Rocking Out blog going, rock ons up, you know what to do, as Sami says, rock it out. Bye bye.